They're playing good ball out of the break. I mean, these are teams, again, the Reds are more of a test team. They're a team that in games like this you should beat. Now, a delay is weird. When you get into extras now, it's always weird because it's tough to say somebody's a better team once they get to extras now, or that they played better baseball. I just say when you get there, it's like whatever. I don't really give any credit to either team that pulls it out or doesn't, unless you do something cool strategically to win the game. Like I still don't understand if you're the home team and the away team doesn't score or scores one, why you're not bunting to start the bottom half.
Get me started.
It does. I still don't understand. We're like 3 years into this thing. When I play it in video games online, when I go to extras, no matter what, if I'm coming up second, if the game's tied or I'm down one, I'm bunting that guy to third, no matter what. It doesn't make any sense that teams don't. But Giants get two, and really now that's what happens. Two is what ends up being, I think more often than not, teams get two now. Because you get that one and you get a guy on, or you get the base hit and they bunt him over. Because now you're really playing for 2 runs because the second one is the more crucial one. You almost assume the team's going to score one. So that pickoff was huge, man. That was
massive. Look, I think you're probably seeing more runs scored in the extra innings because by definition the game's tight throughout the game more than not. So you're probably using your best bullpen guys toward the end of the game. And by the time you get to the 10th, maybe even the 11th inning, then it's just like, who do we have left? They had Duvall left, which was nice, but I think that's what happens. But yeah, if you're the away team, you have to think we need to get 2. We need to find a way to get 2. It does happen. You score a run sometimes, and you get a strikeout pop up, and they don't get a hit, and all of a sudden you win. You win by a run, but you almost assume they're going to get a run. Like the home team's going to get 1, so we need to get 2, and that's what was huge about Jock Peterson's double. I mean, you just replace the guy at second base, all of a sudden you got to run in, and you still have a guy in second base with no outs. So, and they were a little fortuitous with Wilmer Flores' knob shot that rolled the Votto that got Peterson over to
works like a bunt.
Over to third base. It was like, oh, that's the way to do it. Yeah. It's the way to go the opposite,
Good
opposite way. Yeah, get him over to third. I don't know the last time I've ever seen something like that. I mean, straight off the knob and then rolls all the way to first base. Everybody was probably like, what the hell was that? That was crazy.
Well, as difficult as baseball is, like as hard of a game as it is, I think if you play long enough and you see it if you're a fan long enough, and guys who play it at a high level, I think they'll tell you there's so many times where stuff happens in baseball where you never get like lucky. I mean, it'll happen in basketball. I guess periodically somebody throws a shot up and you get lucky and it banks in or something, and you're trying to sell a foul or something like that. But I think a lot of times in baseball, because so much of it is opportunistic and out of your control as to, you might be trying to go the other way, but if the guy throws you an inside pitch, you're not taking it the other way. Sometimes it's just a fortunate cue off the bat, or it rolls foul, then comes back fair. I think a lot of times we credit guys for stuff in baseball that's totally accidental or incidental, and sometimes the breaks come your way. But, that was a fortuitous knob of a little knock the other way or a little sort of bunt the other way for Wilmer Flores. Get that run over.
And I'm sure it felt pretty good, too, for Conforto to get Peterson home because he wasn't able to do it in the, top of the 8th.
Yeah.
Second and third, 1 out, and he wasn't able to get it. Or was he up with no outs?
He's up with none, I think.
Yeah, he was the first. That's right. He was the first guy up, and he wasn't able to get it done. So that probably felt pretty good because he hit the ball hard, and that could have very easily been just a clean single had they been playing the infield back. But it was a really nice play by India. But again, you lay out, and Peterson had a great jump, secondary lead, all that. So, I mean, just a really nice win. And it's got to feel good, too. Like, you already got one in the bag, and then boom.
Yep.
30 minutes later, you're back at it again and getting after it. So, it just, You
can't lose the day. You can't lose the day. You can't lose the day.
You cannot lose the day. You can tie the day. You're good right now.
So we will, Tim, we'll see if we can get the details on what the move is. Do we have the corresponding move for Anthony DeSclafani yet? Tristan Beck is the one who's optioned to AAA. DeSclafani is going to come off the injured list. He'll make the start in Game 2, and we'll get you back out to Cincinnati in about 5.5 minutes or so to get you ready for the start of Game 2. But as we enter Game 2, Giants now 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. You were talking about playing better ball at home, Tom. 26-22 at home, still pretty darn good, but even better on the road. 27-19 on the road. They're 53-41. They're a game and a half behind the Dodgers in second place in the NL West. And entering all play today as games are getting ready to get underway for Tuesday afternoon. The Giants are the number 1 wild card team, clear by a game above Arizona, and they are a game and a half. I guess they're a half game above Miami. Is where it stands.
Yeah, I was going to say full game ahead of Arizona, and I was looking because off the top of my head, I do not remember who the Diamondbacks had tonight.
I got you right here. Arizona.
They're Atlanta.
They're playing at Atlanta
Zach
tonight.
Davies at is it Bryce or Bruce Elder?
Bryce Elder.
Bryce Elder. Name, so they're pretty big dogs there. So I mean,
this is the run.
Arizona had a nice sized lead not that long ago, and not only are they looking up at the Dodgers, they're looking up at the Giants now too. So yeah, this is interesting. You're on the road, so you never know what to expect on the road. But obviously you couldn't ask for a better start, 4-0. But 4-0, and you pass up the D-backs, and we'll see what the Dodgers do tonight. They got one in Baltimore tonight. I know they're small dogs tonight. Grove on the
they are. They were dogs last night.
Great.
I got them last night as a dog, and they ended up coming back and winning that game.
They did. They had a big 5-run fourth or fifth, something like that. But no, I mean, they're playing. And I always like it too when a pitcher goes against his former team. So we'll see what DeSclafani has tonight.
Yeah, that'll be good. DeSclafani takes the ball for the Giants. See if he can stretch it out a little bit. And who's available, you think, for game 2 in terms of guys who I think Doval could go again. I think if Doval's
probably could.
I'd say Doval's a guy you say, yeah. I mean, because remember they said that with Bailey a couple weeks ago. Like he's playing every day. You got to be sure make sure he's okay and he's healthy and his body's all right when you get to the back half of the season. They go, yeah, but he's 20-something years old. This is when you're supposed to do this. Doval's the other guy I think is available. And Rogers, I think, has to be available. I mean, he throws underhand. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know how much strain you get on your arm. Like, those guys are different. Like, they can just go and then go and go and go and go and go some more. So, yeah, I was going to say he's probably not. And then I thought, well, he throws underhand, so maybe he is. I don't know. If he was an overhand pitcher, I'd say no. Yeah. He's not available, but he's not. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how they look at it. I don't know what the stress level is for an underhand guy. I don't.
Well, he may have some extra time. You ready for, I mean, I don't know if you're going to laugh. It's not like, they just told me something. I said, that's funny. It's not like tee-hee funny. It's not like, tee-hee funny.
Thank you.
Tarp on the field in Cincinnati.
What is Cincinnati?
It is Cincinnati. I mean, this is what happens. When you go out to, like, middle of the summer, when you get out to, like, Cincinnati, I know they go to D.C. on Friday. That's another one. Cincinnati, D.C., Pittsburgh.
They go to D.C. on Friday or New York? I thought it's New York. I'm getting all.
They go DC
confused.
Friday, and then I think they have like a Monday stop off in Detroit just for kicks, like to make up a rain out from earlier in the year. So they go like
That's right. They're already in New York.
Yeah, they already played they went to New York twice. They opened in New York against the Yankees, then went back to play the Mets.
Yes, they did.
So they have already played at New York. They'll go to DC, but yeah, this time of year you get funky weather. You get this sort of tropical storm stuff that comes in. It feels like it's like hot and muggy and humid out in the Midwest. But yeah, it'll happen this time of year. So Tarps on the Field will get you back out to Cincinnati here in just a couple of minutes, and we'll keep you updated as to when they plan to start this one and when they plan to play it. They do have another one tomorrow. It's a 4-game series and then an early game on Thursday. And then also, as I said, they go back out to D.C. on Friday for the weekend, Monday in Detroit, then they come on home to play like the Red Sox or something. Like the Red Sox come to town, I think, at one point next week. So a couple of funky series coming up here on the road and then back here at home. But yeah, Giants in second place in the West and leading the National League wild card as they enter play today. DeSclafani against Luke Weaver are supposed to be the starters. I'm trying to get you a forecast out in Cincinnati in just a minute. But Tarps are on the field. Giants win game 1, 4-2. Camilo Doval gets the save in that one. It's Tyler Rogers gets the win in that game after picking off Ellie De La Cruz. By the way, can't walk De La Cruz to lead off an inning. Of all the guys in baseball to walk leading off, him and
I'll give De La Cruz credit for that one because he fouled off
10 pitch at bat. It was a good bat.
3 straight 2-strike pitches.
Acuna is the only other one. That's when you can't walk. Okay.
Yeah, the problem is though you can't throw cookies to those guys either.
No.
I mean they'll smash you like 4 1/4. So it's tough, but I know what you're saying because I was thinking, okay, you can't walk this guy, you can't walk this guy, but I'll give the batter.
You can't give him
I'll give the batter most of the credit in that one just because he fouled off some pitches and he earned that walk. It wasn't like he was just flat wild.
Yeah, fair enough. We got a little bit of time here. We got 30 seconds. We got to get back out to Cincinnati, and then we may be back with you pending a rain delay here. So, Tom, you want to say goodbye to the people?
Goodbye, people. Take it away, Derek.
Hello? Oh, my God!
Oh!
Giants baseball on the radio. It's the regularly scheduled game from the Great American Ballpark, except the tarp is, as we speak, being brought out, and it has just been stretched across the infield, and we are going to be delayed in getting started with the regularly scheduled game. I'm John Miller with Joe Rizzo, and Joe, it was interesting. We were set for a 7:20 local time start, and all of a sudden it's 7:05, or 5 minutes before we were due back on the air with our regularly scheduled game broadcast. The grounds crew came sprinting out onto the field, and they immediately covered the home plate area and the pitcher's mound with those mini tarps, and then they all ran down to the tarp cylinder where the tarp was rolled up and stored against the box seat railing along the right field line. But and they uncovered that tarp, but they did not roll it out. They were, I guess, hoping that maybe this would just be a shower that would pass us by momentarily. Meanwhile, Anthony DeSclafani out in the visitors' bullpen behind the right field wall, he was already taking his warm-ups, and in the Reds' bullpen, they had partially covered at least half of, or one of the bullpen mounds in the home bullpen out in deep left center field. And Luke Weaver, the Reds starter, he was not throwing, which suddenly makes you think, wow, wait a minute, are the Reds trying to pull a fast one here? But then Weaver, after a few moments, he started to throw as well. And then the rain had started. It was raining. And then the rain got more heavy just a couple of minutes ago. And as it got heavier, then the grounds crew went into action, and they rolled the tarp out and promptly covered the infield. So they did it all very quickly. So I don't think that there was enough rainfall, even though the rain had gotten pretty heavy on an exposed infield. I don't think it was long enough that will create any problems. They may bring out some of that turfus, the water absorbent sand-like material, to cover up some wet areas before they get this game started. But now game 2, or in essence the actual game, we finished up last night's suspended game here, which the Giants ended up winning 4-2 in 10 innings. And as we were getting ready for game 2, no, we are in a delay, and we were going to start about 10 minutes late anyway, but now it's going to be a little bit later than that.
I'll be honest, John, I'm getting kind of tired of this. I'm ready to go home.
So you had a delay, what was it, Saturday night in Pittsburgh?
Saturday night, and then we waited here for 2 hours, almost 2 hours yesterday, and thought maybe we wouldn't have any problems today, but naive thinking on my part. I'll say this, if the weather apps that we look at are to be believed, it doesn't look nearly as significant as what we had to deal with here last night. That was just a widespread thunderstorm that was covering miles and miles, and it didn't stop raining for hours. This one, it appears to be maybe more fleeting. So hopefully, while we obviously won't be starting on time, the tarp's on the field, the pitchers have stopped warming up, grounds crew starting to head back into the dugout. I'm hopeful this won't be nearly as long as yesterday. But, yeah, we're going to have to wait yet again.
Well, my Weather Channel app, my trusty Weather Channel app, is telling me that it's 84 degrees in this zip code right now. Feels like 90 because it's so humid.
Yeah.
But, and it also said there is a marginal risk of severe weather tonight. It's not getting any more specific than that, although it said for right now, the chance of rain is at 17%. So, and we may have already had that. I think the rain has already stopped. The tarp is covering the field, and the grounds crew is gathered with, I think that's the crew chief, umpire Dana Sogna, over near the Reds on-deck circle to the right of home plate. So the groundskeeper is trying to give the umpiring crew the full picture as to what's happening with the weather and whether we should go ahead and take the tarp off the field. The umpire's main concern is keeping that infield playable. They don't want to have the tarp off and then a sudden squall come through and the field suddenly become muddy, and you would have a difficult time maybe playing on that field. So anyway, that's the latest from here, and I think the rain is very welcome here because they've had a lot of the smoke, the particulate, microscopic particulate matter in the area the last couple of days from the wildfires in Canada. The winds have carried it down into this part of the U.S. as well. So a little rain to help maybe get rid of some of that would be welcome. So anyway, but right now we are in a rain delay, and we have not. They've started showing a film up on their screen out in left field. So, and they're showing the live radar on their screen in right field. And so what all of that means, I'm not sure. I'm looking at my Weather Channel app, and it doesn't look like there's any big rainstorm heading here in particular at the moment. So hopefully we can go with that, and we're going to be fine. So it looks like it's either already past here or to the south of here. And there is a light rain that has begun falling again, though, even as we're saying that.
Well, one thing you learn quickly being out in this part of the country is the weather can change in an instant here. And it's happened these 2 days here in Cincinnati. So while it doesn't look nearly as threatening, according to the forecasts and the apps, as it did last night, who really knows? Because these thunderstorms can just kind of pop up out of nowhere. But, yeah, it does seem like, based on the radar, that the worst of it is a little northeast of here right now. But just as we're talking right now, it has started to rain a little bit harder. So we'll see. But for now, we're in a delay.
Yeah, and as far as me and my knowledge, I have my Weather Channel app with the Doppler radar, and I'm colorblind to begin with. And even if I were not colorblind, I don't know what all of that means. I just see a bunch of colors moving toward the air, and I think, oh, that's probably not good. So, but mostly it looks like it's left this area and has either gone by us or maybe a little bit to the north or to the south. And as we look at all of that, we see rain falling right in front of us, what we used to call the eye test. So it is raining, and I don't think they're going to take that tarp off, although they are trying to get that tarp in. They've got the little spikes to keep it from being blown off by the winds should they come up. So maybe they've got something different coming in to try and make sure that field stays dry enough. But D.C., we are in a rain delay. We are in a rain delay here at the Great American Ballpark. The Giants won the resumption of last night's game 4-2. They have won 6 in a row and are hoping to get started here shortly. But for now, as we are in a rain delay, we will send it back to our flagship station, KNBR, and our affiliates along the Giants radio network. And we will plan to rejoin you in 11 minutes at 4:30 Pacific time so we can give you an update from here. Meanwhile, we say so long from Cincinnati. See you in a few on the Giants Radio Network.
KNBR, the sports leader. Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did someone else get eaten by the tarp?
Oh, look out.
Oh, God. Got to move.
Close.
High stepping.
Oh, boy. There we go.
Mayday.
Oh, no.
He got eaten by the tarp.
He's under there.
They're not even stopping. No pause.
Somebody's going to get him out of there.
Every man left behind, fend for yourself.
He's doing the crawl.
He's under there somewhere.
This is like basic
We
training.
lost him. Oh, man.
You can't leave a man behind.
There was no mercy.
Oh, and now we got another guy on the other side.
Oh, no, the wind.
The wind is kicking up.
Let's get a replay of this right here. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Get your knees up. Ankles up. Ooh, scoop.
Oh, my goodness. And we finally got that guy out, too.
Hey.
Finally.
He's okay. He's a little dirty.
Here's what I wanted to see.
It's a great tune, by the way.
I wanted
Great
to see if that guy could have found his way out of the tarp without any help. Because he was zigzagging.
Yeah, it was good.
He didn't know exactly where he was going. It was like dark as hell under there.
Yep.
That tarp's heavy.
I like the deal in grounds crewing too, where it's like there's not a situation where it's no man left behind. Grounds crew, it's like, dude, it's about the field. The field comes first. Everything else is secondary. Save the field. This is what we're here for, especially in the Midwest. Like, we got a great grounds crew in San Francisco, but if they had to put the tarp on, like, I can't imagine those guys would be well equipped because it doesn't ever happen. Like, you never got to roll a tarp out.
I wonder if we have, we probably don't have it, but it was the old sound when they did the tarp at Wrigley Field a number of years ago. And they just completely screwed it up, and Kipe and Krugenkipe were just killing them. Just because they tried to get it, it was all cockeyed.
They're calling, they were calling the tarp being unrolled.
Yeah, they missed they missed third base, and it wasn't even close to like covering the field. Like, it was just like a mess. And then by the time they realized what they had done, they couldn't fix it because the tarp was so heavy because all the water had already accumulated on it because it was dumping out there.
That's the thing is, as you unroll it, it gets heavier when it's already, because a lot of times when the game is already happening, like, it's one thing if it's before the game, they see the forecast coming, they're like, we're rolling this out. And in the Midwest, they'll do that anyway. Like, they cover the field. Like, Giants, I don't think they cover the field unless they got stuff coming in. Remember that happened to the A's a few years back where they didn't know rain was coming overnight? And they didn't cover the field. The A's had a rain out when it was like a perfectly sunny day in the middle of like, I don't know, May or something, because it had rained overnight and flooded their field. And they weren't prepared to put the tarp on. But in the Midwest, that's something they got to do all the time. I just it's funny because as much as they have to do it, I still never feel like they have enough guys or enough people on staff to do it. Like, it's an all hands on deck kind of thing. And yesterday they did it late because the game's happening. They want to see if they can finish as much of the game as they can. So oftentimes when you start rolling it out, it's already dumping, so there's a rush to do it. Sometimes there's standing water on the field. This guy goes down under the tarp. Did you see the big guy who didn't even look like he was grounds crew? He was like security almost, and he was laying on the ground trying to hold it down because he was like getting blown up into the air because the wind was gust. That's the thing is, if you don't get it down flat, the wind will gust under it, and it can like pick people up. Like, that thing is heavy. They had to like drive tractors on top of the tarp to hold it down on the field. But one of those it's one more thing that's unique to the game of baseball. It's just do they have grounds crews like in I guess they do, right? The Giants, Dodgers, Angels, all the Padres. Oh, yeah.
They got to have grounds crews, but...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're just stealing. They're just stealing money.
Well, some of those guys, and
I guess they are the ones that rake and all that kind of... They do all the other stuff.
Well, they keep the field quality, too. I mean, these guys...
As far as the tarp?
Yeah, the tarp stuff is not what their duty is. Their duty is like, softening the dirt by first base so Maury Wills can't steal off you. Stuff like that. It's like, it's putting sand over there at first base against the Dodgers. So stuff they used to do like that. Like, I know the D-backs, they now play with the roof closed a lot, like with the air conditioning on. But remember early on when it was Bank One Ballpark, and I want to say for the first 10, 15 years of that park, they would have the roof open a lot. And I remember John Miller would talk a lot about the infield getting baked. that it would like bake down and be real hard. It was like playing on pavement. It's why they keep the roofs closed so much, because you can sort of climate control what the infield is like. But it is interesting that we've talked about this in football with like the slippage with the turf and guys' knees and stuff like that, and all the work they've put into it. Baseball, they play on tons of different surfaces. I mean, everybody's got different grass, I would imagine. All sorts of different stuff. You get different infield turf. We talked when they were in Toronto. They just now put that dirt in the infield in Toronto. Remember, they used to just have the lines drawn and they had the dirt around the bases. Yep. That was always kind of a cool look to me, but it was weird that some people have the track of dirt to the pitcher's mound to home plate. Some places don't. You just have the mound and the home plate area. But the grounds crew is in charge of all that.
Does anybody have that anymore?
The walking
dirt
line
track?
I think they do.
I know Arizona did, and they took it away. I thought it was like whatever. I don't know what the point of it is. It's just I don't think the Giants don't have it. Giants don't have it. No, I don't remember. I'd have to. They might. I don't know. I haven't really thought. I know Arizona did. I know Arizona did at one point because I remember it. And when they opened the ballpark a number of years ago,
Comerica Park and Chase Field. That's the only two.
Comerica. Okay. Like, yeah. I was thinking maybe Detroit, but I don't remember. I'm trying to think if there was. Man, I remember it was opened up because you look at the new ballparks. You're like, yeah, it's a nice ballpark. Like I always thought. Obviously, Oracle was really nice from the get-go.
Right.
Safeco looks really nice. PNC looks really nice.
Same architects as Oracle, by the way.
Yeah,
PNC.
I thought Arizona was like, You know.
Yeah, have you been?
No, I've not been to Arizona.
Arizona's like it feels like an airplane hangar. It does.
I've been to Houston. I haven't been to Arizona, and it's like, I mean, it's okay. Nothing special. It's not like you go to the ballpark and go, oh, this is like cool. Like the Crawford boxes are just dumb. Like, is that going to like separate your ballpark? You know, it's like when you're trying to make your ballpark different. That's when you put flags in center field.
On the hill.
You're like, what are we doing?
You don't have a train. Why? How many things we do? We got a train. We got a brick wall. We got the boxes.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Come on, man.
It's like just being goofy to be goofy.
How much crap we're throwing out here, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Marlins. Marlins did it too. They got all that big nonsensical stuff out in center field. Some of it's art. They call it an art installation, so you can't rip it. But then after like 5 years, you're like, what's that thing doing there?
I said it was a club, like a Club Med brochure is what it was. Come to life out in the center.
Depot
and they
Park,
had the aquarium behind home plate, and I always made the joke. And then they had the green fences, they had the green walls,
right?
Until they went to blue. And I always said, well, I mean, it is kind of gauche, but it's Miami, so you kind of expect.
They kind of want it to be flashy, and pastel.
And I always made the joke if they really wanted to make it Miami, they should have lined the baselines with cocaine. Now that would have been Miami. that would have been like,
dudes are going home to first in a second and a half, dude. You're like, holy crap, dude, that guy's flying.
Like, oh, this is Miami.
Dudes are sliding home and stopping halfway.
Different. Yeah, but Fenway, it's completely different, right? You get the pesky pole, you get the green monster, you get the deep ass center field.
Yep.
But that's because that was a parcel
of land
they were given.
Right? That's why you had to build
it that way. It wasn't like they said, you know what? Let's build a ballpark where it's really short down left, but we got to build this monster wall, and then let's make the pole in right field, like the foul pole, like 310, 312, whatever it is. It's like, no, they're like, okay, how do we fit this on this land? And that's what the Giants had to do. Yeah. You know, they had a parcel of land and go, okay, how do we make the ballpark really cool, but we also got to work in the parameters of the land. It wasn't like, we can do whatever we want, let's just make it goofy. No, it wasn't that at all.
Let's put this wall 800 feet high and really close.
Just do that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
but that's kind of what the Crawford boxes are, right? Let's do something kind of goofy and make it 320.
You don't have to. You got an 80-foot high brick wall with a train track on it.
Yeah, the train track is.
It doesn't make any sense.
That one is classic. The damn train track. Yeah, I mean, just so. Yeah, I mean, you can screw it up. Or you can, and some of them have.
Camden Yards got it right. Camden
Yards was the first one, wasn't it?
That was the first that kind of redid this model
retro,
of park. It's like it feels old, but it's brand new.
Yes, exactly.
It's aesthetically old, right? So
no doubt.
We'll send you back out to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. We're in a delay. We will find out if we are getting going or when we are getting going.